This Easter Sunday, I'm thankful to be reminded of the hope of the gospel, and I'm thankful that God has sought fit to demonstrate it in my life. My name is Cory Anderson, and started attending Hillside in the fall of 2013. I was single, and I had moved to Minnesota a couple years earlier. In the fall of 2014, I met Lindsay. We met online. We were engaged that coming May, and we were married the following August. So we had known each other for 364 days before we got married. We lived a lot of life early on because we were young and, no kids. And so we got to go overseas for missions trips and stay domestically for missions trips and invest in our church family and grow together as a couple and do Bible study. And in 2016, we had the opportunity to go to Greece, and just her and I went over to be witnesses of the gospel to refugees. We had found out just the week prior to going over there that we were pregnant and that Miles was on the way. So in August of 2017, Miles was born and shifted everything. We still lived a lot of life, but life changed a lot. Spring of 2018, Lindsay started noticing that she had some sharp pains, and we didn't really know what it was from. I went to a lot of doctors, but we were just kind of living life as normal. It wasn't really anything major alarms or major concern. In June of 2019, we finally got a diagnosis of stage 4 lung cancer. And throughout the summer and fall of 2019, it was great to have family and friends from Hillside, come around Lindsay and support her and take care of her. And those relationships that she already had, I think just deep in general. We had all of Hillside obviously praying for us. We had ministries throughout the country praying for us. We had hope that the medication was working. We knew it wouldn't work forever. That was just kind of the reality. And she was facing her own mortality. In January of 2020, Miles and Lindsay were doing swim lessons, and we were trying to figure out like a new normal routine. Monday morning, she was the last week of January, she was extra short of breath. Went to the hospital that Friday, stayed in the hospital a week and a day, and she died on February 1st. So Miles, he was 2.5 when Lindsay passed. So he was really young and didn't really know what was going on. Which is the hardest part about it all. I think there were a number of things that helped after Lindsay passed. When we put our hope in Jesus, we know that this life is not all there is. In fact, this life pales in the comparison to the joy and the glory to come, and we look forward to that. It doesn't make it any less hard in the midst of pain and suffering, but it is a promise that we can hope in. It is a promise that we can stake our lives to. When Christ talks about having power over death, that's foundational to understanding the hope of eternity. Right? So Lindsay died, and if he didn't have power over death, then I would just be in despair. I'd be in sorrow. Now that she's in the presence of her Savior, that she is happy and contented and joyful, and I know that she would want just the best for Miles and I, and that gave me a lot of freedom to continue to live life. As time progressed after Lindsay had passed, I definitely felt the longing of relationship. In the same way that I had trusted that God would bring me a wonderful wife in Lindsay, and he did. I already had the experience of him being faithful, and I just trusted that he was going to bring it about again, if that was his plan. When Kayla and I met, we were very intentional, but we were 6 hours apart. In the course of a very short period of time, we changed houses. I changed jobs. Miles changed preschool, and we changed churches. A lot of life events. In July of 2021, I asked her if she'd marry me, and she said yes. And Miles asked her if she'd be his mom, and she said yes. I'm super thankful to God that He had set aside yet another God-fearing, wonderful, smart and kind, and just a fantastic mother for Miles as well. He's growing and learning. Miles is all about family. He loves family, and through this process, he has gotten a lot more family. Kayla has a very close-knit family, so Miles is absolutely loving having new grandparents and new cousins and aunts and uncles, and he just loves being around the people that love him and enjoys those times together. I'm thankful that there's a new season of life that God has planned for us, and that we have new opportunities for ministry. And I'm hopeful and thankful that even though we've been through trials, even though we've been through difficult circumstances, that God still has a plan and a purpose for our life. It doesn't just end with any particular circumstance, but in all things we have opportunities to pursue Him and to glorify Him in the ways that we live. This life is purposeful and important, but it's not the end of any story of a believer who loves Jesus Christ.